Hey everyone, welcome back to another Mattel Jurassic World review. Today we're taking a look at the new Camp Cretaceous Dino Escape Ben and Bumpy the Ankylosaurus story pack. This set is part of Wave 2 of the story packs, and I've been really excited for this one ever since it was announced. I did like Ben in Camp Cretaceous, kind of annoying in Season 1, but he had great character development in Seasons 2 and 3, so I was really excited to get my hands on him, and plus, it's another new camper, so slowly we are getting all the camper figures. Brooklyn and Sammy are coming out in Wave 3, so another couple months we'll have a full set of campers, but the biggest surprise of this set is Bumpy. Bumpy is a completely new sculpt. I thought it was just going to be a straight up repack of the Attack Pack Bumpy that we saw released in like pretty much every wave of Attack Packs over the last year. I ended up getting this set off of Amazon. It retails for $14.99, and I'll leave a link to that Amazon listing down below in the description. So let's go over the packaging really quick before we crack these figures open. Comes in the Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous style packaging. You got Toro the Carnotaurus behind Bumpy's tail, the Dino Escape logo, Darius. You got these Smash Paddock fences in the background, and then turn it around, you get a nice picture of Ben and Bumpy. Love the accessories that Ben comes with. And down here we have the other figure that's available in Wave 2, the previously reviewed Kenji and Monolophosaurus. So that will do it with the packaging. Let's crack the set open and take a closer look. Alright, let's start with a nice 360-degree view of this set. This is a really great set. It's probably my favorite Camp Cretaceous story set that's come out so far. Bumpy looks great. A little bit older than the previous Attack Pack Bumpy. The proportions are a little bit better. It looks, when we get on into comparisons a little bit later on, I'll take out the older Bumpy and show you the differences between them, but I do like this Bumpy a lot better. My only complaint is the head has this really bright blue paint compared to the rest of the body. Yeah, that bright blue paint is on the legs. It really doesn't bother me. But on the head and just the way it transitions to that darker blue on the body, it's kind of jarring. But on that, very minor complaint. Love how the figure turned out. Ben also turned out fantastic. Great likeness on him. Comes with his wooden shield and spear. The dirt apps are applied really nicely. My only complaint on Ben is those dirt apps, when they were applied, they're kind of a little bit on his eyes. It makes his eyes look a little bit funky. Probably would have been better if they applied the eyes after they applied the dirt, so it didn't look that bad. But I do really like the way he turned out, and I hope sometime in the future we actually get a Season 1 Ben figure. You know, get a little hypochondriac Ben. You know, but I do like this Law of the Fly version of Ben. Alright, let's just do a couple quick measurements. Bumpy is just about 5¼ inches long from the tip of his snout. Sorry, tip of her snout to the tip of that little club tail, and just about 2 inches tall. Ben comes in at right around 3½ inches tall, which fits nicely in that 3¾ inch figure scale range. Alright, let's zoom in and take a closer look at Ben. Like I said, I think this figure turned out great. Love how the dirt apps turned out on him. He has that really dirty, grungy look for surviving all those months on Isla Nublar. Love his accessories. Let's just pop those off really quick. Here is his little wooden shield that is wrapped in vines. A lot of, excuse me, a lot of nice detail on there. It would have been nice, like, if they actually painted the leaves on here, but, you know, it's a $15 figure set. Mattel's not going to go all out painting all the accessories. In the back right here, you do have a handle where he can grip it, and he does hold on to the shield pretty well. You just kind of have to finagle a little bit in his hands just to get it to stay. But yeah, all in all, a really great looking accessory. And now let's take his spear out of his hand. The spear came out great. This is the same spear he used when he fought Toro the Carnotaurus, which is one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen in any Jurassic franchise thing. Even, you know, doing gymnastics against a Velociraptor. Just, I think Ben should have been dead in like 7 seconds, even though he had a Ankylosaur partner. Just kind of ridiculous. But you know what? It was fun, and that's what this franchise is about, fun. So yeah, the spear turned out really good. You got some nice white paint for the spear tip. You have some vines wrapped around it, and the rest of it is just cast in a brown plastic. So yeah, another great accessory for this figure. And for Ben himself, as I knock the poor chap over, like I said, now you can see what I'm talking about with the eyes. The eyes look really, really weird. The head sculpt is great, nice likeness of Ben, but like I think those dirt apps that they sprayed on here kind of interfered with the eye paint. It just looks really off. I wish it was a little bit cleaner for the eyes. That's really my only complaint about this figure. You can see he has his bandana on. The head sculpt is nicely done with light brown paint. He has a white tank top on with all that brown mud and dirt on there. He has his Vine armbands and wristbands with the wood wrist guard, which is a really, really nice touch. It's some nice detail on that. He has his gold watch, I think. Is it a watch? Yeah, it looks like a watch to me. Nice silver on the belt buckle with brown paint for the belt. Some more of those dirty paint apps all the way down to his shoes. Yeah, so all in all, a very nicely painted figure. I think this is probably one of the best painted Mattel human figures in the line. Now for articulation, his head can look down a little bit. It is on a ball joint. You can get a little wiggly waggly. Can turn 360 degrees. You can get a better look at that bandana when I do that. Arms can move up. They can rotate 360 degrees. You get just over 90 degrees of bend at the elbow, and there is a joint in there, so you can rotate the arm. He does have waist rotation. When I was fiddling with it before, it was really, really stuck. He just heard it snap, so he has some nice waist rotation. He can do the full splits. He can kick forward that far. He can't kick back that much because of his butt. And then for the knees, you get just about 90 degrees of bend, and you do have a joint on the knees. So that will cover it for Ben. Let's move on to Bumpy. All right, moving on to Bumpy. The head sculpt looks really, really good. You can see the eyes are painted like a reddish-brown color, and there is a black pupil on there. It's kind of tough for my camera to pick it up, but let me zoom in. There you go. You can clearly see the pupil and the iris, and then zooming back out a little bit, because if I'm zooming in that close, I just shake like crazy. The beak is painted with gray paint. You have all this bright blue paint on here, which I wish was a little bit darker, so it matched the color of the armor. Looking at it from the top, you can see he has his asymmetrical head shape, and then turning it over, I do have a little bit of sloppy paint right here, but Q-tip and some nail polish remover, I'll be able to take that off. That's much easier to fix than misprinted eyes. And then going down to the legs, you can see some of that bright blue paint, and there's some of it right underneath the armor. The armor is cast in that blue plastic, and then this part right here with the white showing out that pokes through it, and then turn it over. You can see the underside has some nice details and scales, especially on the bottom of the feet. The nice scale detail on the bottom of the front feet. And since we have the figure turned over, here is the scan code for those of you that want to scan this into the fax app. And then turn the figure over from the top. You can get a better look at that armor. A lot of nice scale detail in that armor between all the plates. And then going down to the tail. Now the tail, for some reason, is painted in a darker blue than the body armor. So it looks like Mattel just really couldn't match the paint up. So it does make the figure look slightly off. It's not a huge deal breaker. Definitely the bright blue paint is more distracting than this darker blue on the tail. The tail club is painted in nice white paint, nicely detailed. Love how that turned out. You can see underneath the tail some nice fine scale detail on there. And then for articulation, head can rotate. It does have a little bit of a ball joint to look down a little bit. Can't really look up that much. And let's see, can you get very, very minuscule side to side movement. Front legs can move forwards that far and back that far. Hind legs back that far and forward that far. The tail is on a hinge. It can swing side to side, and it does have 360 degree rotation. So that will do it for Bumpy. Let's move on to comparisons. All right, first up for comparisons, here are the rest of the current campers in the line: Darius, Ben, Yaz, and Kenji. Kenji is still my favorite human figure for Mattel in the Jurassic World line of all time. I think he looks absolutely fantastic. And then for the other campers, my second favorite is Yaz, then Ben, and then Darius. Darius seriously needs a new head sculpt. He really does not look like his CG model at all, and we really, really need a Darius in just his white shirt. I think there's like 5 Darius figures out right now in different sets, and they're all the same figure, so we really, really need an updated one. Now moving on to Bumpy. Here it is with the attack pack Bumpy, and you can see the difference in the sculpt, especially with the head. This one has a slightly older looking head versus this one, so I'm assuming the age of this new Bumpy figure is probably 8.7 seconds older than this younger version right here, because Bumpy grew at an absolutely mind-bending rate in the show, and that's probably one of the things I did not like about the show, how fast Bumpy grew. He just grew fast for, for the plot, because it would be kind of stupid if they just ran around with a baby Ankylosaurus for the whole time, so you really needed an adult for some more intense action scenes, which did work, but still, he just grew way too, she grew way too fast for my liking. And then turn the figures side by side. Let me see if I can balance this out. You can see this one has a much longer tail. This one has a much more baby-like looking tail, better paint apps on this newer version, and you can see the difference between the head shapes, and the body is actually a little bit more sleeker and longer than the old Attack Pack Bumpy. And having them side by side like this, you can see the differences with the legs. Those are completely new sculpt on all the legs. So yeah, this new Bumpy right here is a completely new mold, which I said was a really nice surprise. And since we're doing Bumpy comparisons, here is the little tiny mini Bumpy that came with the Darius, Baryonyx, and Stegosaurus box set. And here is the adult Bumpy. So you do have a nice representation of Bumpy's growth stages. I don't have the Bumpy in the egg because I refuse to buy another Darius figure just to get the accessory. In all honesty, Ben should have came with the Bumpy egg, not Darius, but maybe that accessory will get released a little further down the line with a different character. It'd actually be really cool if the Bumpy egg got released with a Season 1 Ben figure, but that's just me wishful thinking. Alright, next up, here is the Ankylosaurus that came with the Kenji story pack. And here is the Roar Attack Tyrannosaurus, which, gave the campers a lot of trouble. Pretty cool seeing herbivores act aggressive in Jurassic World. I did really appreciate that. And here it is with the new Roar Attack Allosaurus. And next up, here it is with the Danger Pack Scorpius Rex. And lastly, here it is with Ben's arch nemesis, Toro the Carnotaurus. So final thoughts on this set. I really like it. I love how Mattel is including human figures with dinosaurs now, and it's definitely helping sales. We all know what happened with Fallen Kingdom. The shelves were just clogged with a million Owens, and no one was buying them. The human figures have always been pretty much slow sellers. Even the Legacy Collection figures like Grant, Ellie, and Muldoon. I remember at one point Target put up like 50 of them for like $2 each just to get rid of them. And then eventually when they started doing that, Ian Malcolm actually kind of got easy to find, even though I think it was like 3 or 4 per case, but Ian was a real pain to find when the Legacy Collection human figures first came out. So yeah, they're definitely selling in my area. Like I will run into like Wave 1 at Walmart, and the only one that kind of like hangs around a little bit is Darius, but then a few days later I'll go and they're gone. So they are definitely selling. But, if you keep repackaging Darius, that might clog up the shelves a little bit. We actually do have another Darius story pack coming out. It's coming with the baby Brachiosaurus, but I think the baby Brachie is definitely going to help coax some people into buying another Darius figure, which will be me because I love sauropods and I'm going to get that baby Brach. My only nitpicks about the figure is just how the dirt apps are applied on Ben's face. It really makes his eyes look kind of funky. Other than that, I think Ben turned out excellent. And just like the mismatched paint on the tail and head of Bumpy, I just really wish it was better color match to the blue plastic for the body armor. But other than that, minor complaints. It's an excellent set. You'd be really happy with it. And we're one step closer to completing our Camp Cretaceous cast. Like I said at the beginning of the review, I got this figure off of Amazon. Link to that Amazon listing is down below in the description. Right now, I only have one more new Dino Escape figure to review. It's the Roar Attack Metriacanthosaurus. I'll eventually get to that one in a couple of days, so be on the lookout for that review. And as always, if you're enjoying the content on this channel, show your support by hitting that subscription button just below the video. Each subscription helps out the channel tremendously and is greatly appreciated. And I'll see you guys for the next one.